You can go ahead and bring us in.
We are back. This is the Unpacking Black podcast. This is episode 2. I'm Shelise,
And I'm Watt.
and
And
today we got a lot of things to unpack.
yeah, dear God, hope this one goes right. Oh man, look y'all. So let me catch the audience up to speed right quick. Yesterday, man, we had a fire ass show, and my dumb ass, for
Fire.
whatever reason, I had interruptions and my damn phone fell and this shit didn't record. I'm sorry, y'all. Forgive me
It's okay. We're gonna run it back,
for the one
and
time.
it's gonna be dope either way. It's fine.
Yeah, man. So you ready to get into it?
Yes, let's get into it.
Okay, so
I want
what?
to take a moment to show some respect for the New York artists that we lost in the past week. Take some time to show some love to Shock G and Black Rob.
Yeah, man. Yeah, like let's give a moment up for them as well as DMX. I know his funeral service was earlier this week, or was it last week? I think what day was it?
I think it was this past week. Hmm.
Okay, so it was this past week. And a lot of people came out to show love and support him. So big ups to that, man. And we just want to take a moment to send one up for Shock G, from Digital Underground, man. Great artist, very influential. As well as Black Rob, another great artist
Hmm.
and influential as well. So we're gonna give up. We're gonna take a little moment out for them. So y'all bow your heads. All right. So yeah, man.
Yeah, New York is definitely feeling it right now.
Yeah, most definitely. Losing like X and then Black Rob kind of back to back like that.
Hmm.
That was a real blow, man. And it's never really enough great things you can say about artists when they pass. I think we had that moment of reflection where we give our condolences to their families and their loved ones, and we do kind of dive back into the music, and it really does make you appreciate artists more. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Hmm.
we kind of look at it like, hindsight is always 2020. You never actually understand how great artists are, how much you should give them their flowers while they're still here. So, but like, moving forward, man, we just take time out to give thanks. You know what I'm saying? To give praise to the family of these artists that have untimely passed. So
Yes, keep
let's,
them in our prayers.
yeah, always. Um, but not to move away from that so quick, but we gotta move on. What's up next, man? What we got next?
We celebrated 420 last week.
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of people probably had fun with that. Method Man, Redman had their versus battle.
Okay, okay. I didn't have a chance to check it out. You wanna give us a little a brief recap of what went down in the versus battle?
It was dope. The energy was live. I feel like we should have paid for this session. It should have definitely not been given to us for free. Um, it was just crazy energy. I'm gonna say I was leaning more towards Method Man. I'm a huge Method Man fan, but Redman brought the heat. He had me out my seat definitely a couple times. They had just so many hits back to back. And then EPMD was in the building. DJ Scratch was, on the ones and twos. It was lit.
Yeah, man, that's like classic. I think that's really like a classic moment in hip hop when you think about those two artists and the kind of bond that they
Hmm.
have amongst each other. So it's kind of hard to pick a winner. I think that at the end of the day, we are all winners because we get to actually experience that. So the fans win, the artists win, everybody, the culture
Do it for the
wins.
culture.
Exactly. Sidebar, like I said, I didn't get a chance to watch it because, and I'm gonna tell you why, really. They kind of switched it now. It's on like what Triller instead of Apple Music. So, and
Yeah.
I found this out like the past versus battle when they did Earth, Wind and Fire versus the Islands, and I'm like
Hmm.
scrambling around on iTunes looking for it, and I don't see it nowhere, and I'm like, man, what the fuck? So that was a thing, and I think that like more people will probably tune into the rebroadcast just because of the platform that it's on. I think everybody or mostly everybody has access to kind of like Apple Music, so it just
Hmm.
makes it easier for the people to get there and enjoy it in the moment. um, I feel kind of bad because it's one of those things that I miss because Method Man is one of my favorite artists, because I'm an 80s baby, so I grew up with the 90s hip hop, like that shaped my life. So, yeah, man, I mean, yeah, I'm a big Method Man fan, and that's not a slight against Redman either because,
Redman.
yeah,
Yeah.
he made some hits with EPMD and just his own solo career. He added a element of hip hop that we hadn't seen. So he was like really the antithesis of some of the people you kind of look at like a Ludacris, like these rappers that have a more humorous disposition. Even when you start to look at
Hmm.
people like 2 Chainz, like these artists that they rap and they say things that are kind of funny or just their expression. I think that a lot of that comes from Redman. Like he is the godfather of that like genre of rap, But he's also a good MC, an excellent MC to his credit, and those guys have done a lot of great things for the culture, and I'm definitely going back to check that one out for the one time.
Yes,
And
you definitely should.
it was
I think they posted it on YouTube, and then it's also live when the versus battles do come on. It's live on versus on Instagram.
okay, cool. Yeah, like I just don't like with the Apple Music. I liked it there because the sound quality was a lot
Hmm.
better, and then I'm a sound guy, so I'd be like,
Hmm.
so it might not affect some people, but it bothers me. So
If it's off,
yeah, yeah. So yeah, be like how Teddy Riley was when him and Babyface were going up against each other, looking at the mic.
we're not gonna get into that. That was funny. Uh, do you see what's his name, Spice Adams? How he redo some of the versus battles and like make jokes out of it.
No, I haven't caught that. Mm, what it's on like Instagram.
Instagram, yeah, he
Oh,
do like parodies of and remakes of the versus battles.
okay, cool. Well, I
You
mean
gotta watch the one that
it
he did with Teddy Riley.
it do be a lot of funny shit on there. I ain't gonna even hold you. It is comical. We love the artist, but sometimes it be like, hey man, y'all out here wilding, bro. But I mean, you know what? I say this, like those artists, they have established careers. They have worked very hard to build themselves. So you know what, man? If some
Hmm.
shit go left or like somebody posted a clip like when Young Jeezy was rapping, he almost stumbled and fell off the stage. That was funny. So it's like, yeah, man, like kind of looking back on it, it's like, oh shit. So I know he probably like it happened to the best of us. Cause when I be in the club, I be feeling the music. Oh shit, I might stumble and fumble a little bit, but I'm gonna pull it together.
You gotta
So
catch yourself.
yeah, I'm gonna reel it back in, and he did too. And it was just like if you didn't see the clip, you would have never noticed it in real time, and I didn't even realize it until somebody replayed the clip, and I was like, oh shit, he did almost fall. Okay, but yeah, I'm gonna check that out too, man, cause it'd be a lot of funny stuff going on in the verses too that we gotta kind of enjoy too, and we must always remember this shit is live, man. It can go any which
It is.
way.
Anything can happen.
Yeah,
It's still a performance.
exactly. Like this show is live. Like we seen the anything that can happen. Murphy's Law happened yesterday. Whatever bad can
Yeah,
happen, did happen. And I'm praying that it don't happen again. God damn. My bad.
I think we could.
My bad, y'all. But yeah, I'm gonna
My dog is
definitely
making all the noise.
check out that versus battle as well. And in the spirit of 420, I can't drink nothing, but I can't smoke nothing.
Hmm.
But I'm gonna drink some. I'm gonna go grab me a little bottle, pull up, kick my feet up, and I'm gonna go back and watch it just for the nostalgia effect, man. I definitely want to say that I got that one in my lexicon and my history books going forward.
I think you would definitely enjoy it.
Yeah, I know I will. I mean, a lot of great music from 2 great artists.
Speaking of 420, that new purple Urkel weed strand dropped on 420.
Look, y'all. I can't engage in none of these activities, but you know what?
Me neither. Me neither.
Well, we can't engage in none of these activities. But you know what? Look, if you out here selling the ganja, you want to promote it to our audience, our faithful followers of 9 people. Send us a check. Hit that cash out. Ooh, I will. I'll be like Bill Clinton. I might hit it, but I will not inhale. No, sir.
I will not be partaking in the 420 festivities either. But shout out to all those who do smoke. Go ahead and pick up that purple Urkel, or I don't know what they call it. There's a lot of different AKAs for it, but it is an indica, so make sure you smoke responsibly.
Okay, so like, I got a question. I don't know if you can answer this. Maybe we got to go and get a weed specialist. But what's the difference between the,
Weed guru.
yeah, one of them people? What's the difference between like the indica and what it is, like the sativa or something? Is that what it called?
Sativa. Basically, what is the upper and one's a downer.
Oh, okay.
Like sativa, in my opinion, this is my opinion. I know be true. The sativa is an upper, and then the indica is a downer, and then they have what's called a hybrid. So you can get one that's sativa dominant or indica dominant, depending on how much you smoke
Oh, so it
and
was,
what you can handle.
so and you said the purple Urkel is
Purple
indica.
Urkel.
So that's like what, a
Yes.
downer?
hmm So I know some people, they'll wake up in the morning and they might smoke sativa so that they can still, get through their day and be productive. And then other people will smoke indicas to, help them sleep or before they go to bed, things like that. Help them relax more.
Oh, okay. Well, we found out a fun fact. Probably one that I won't never engage in. I don't need to know if it's up, down, around and around. Just know, people,
Although,
in my pursuit of a profession, I just want to put this out here on the air. I don't fuck with none of that shit.
yeah, just go ahead and make a disclaimer. Neither one of us smoke weed. We do not smoke or do any kind of drugs, but although we will have a drink every now and again socially.
Yeah, I'm a social drinker. I'm an anti-social drinker. How about y'all ain't never heard of that one? That's a new one. I'm an anti-social drinker. I like
I
to
like
drink.
it.
I like to drink by myself. Occasionally with friends. I don't like to drink with people because then they be big and they be want some of your. No, I ain't got enough to go around.
They be begging.
I bought enough for me. The bill can get high if you playing that game. That is a dangerous game to play.
Yes, that is true.
But
And weed is an expensive habit. I don't know how people do it.
well, where there's a will,
Mm-mm.
well, I'm gonna say this: where there's an addiction, there's a way. You'll be surprised with them.
That's true.
You'll be
That's true.
surprised what somebody
They'll
do
be in
to
their
get
piggy bank
right.
trying to come up.
Stealing, killing, robbing, sexual favors. We could just go
Ooh,
down the list.
not all that.
Oh man.
Robbing Peter to pay Paul.
Yeah, be like, what would you do for a Klondike bar? Oh Lord. If you gonna have a habit, make sure you
Well,
got
thank.
the money to support it, people.
Yeah, that's very true.
But
That's very true.
yeah. So tell us a little bit about this purple Urkel, if you don't mind. Is there anything else? Cause I think he did.
Um, I know it's a part of the purple weed cannabis strand. So he has collaborated with the purple to make his own line of indica,
Okay.
which is cool. I mean, I think Jaleel White, he's been Steve Urkel for so many years. I think it's great that he can break out of that or capitalize on it and use the him some attention. I like it.
Yeah, I
I
think
think it's
that.
smart.
Yeah, I think that a lot of times when you look at artists, they have roles that are so big and so iconic to what actually happens is they can never actually escape that. So when they're going out in
Hmm
the world and they're trying to, further their career or something of that nature, what usually ends up happening is they kind of just fall into that thing and they kind of stay there. So to kind of see him lean into that character and it be a plus for him at this stage of his career, because it's not like, and we're gonna talk about reboots too, but I wouldn't want a reboot.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want a reboot. I wouldn't want
No,
to.
me neither.
Yeah. So we don't do reboots around here. We like our
Yeah.
original. But
We like the originals, the OGs.
yeah, and we're gonna get into that. Oh yes we will. But I like the fact that as an artist he was able to lean into this thing and capitalize off of it and use nostalgia to, and still be able to benefit off the nostalgia. I think a lot of times we see artists and
Hmm.
they kind of lean so heavy on the art that they don't actually see that that's a pathway to something greater, like, whether they can do something like with what he did as far as marijuana is concerned, or kind of getting into the merch side of things, or kind of using that thing that typecast them to kind of create other avenues for themselves. Because
Hmm.
honestly, once you actually take on something like that or a role like that, like, I don't think you can ever escape it. I think this shit is just
You
bigger.
can't. You be out on the street and they be calling you Steve Urkel.
Yeah, you will be on Skid Row and they be like, "Did you do that?" Oh man, or you be somebody with a drug
Well, you
addiction.
know it.
Oh, you be hold on. So you'll be somebody like with a drug addiction, and you can't afford it, and you be like, "Can I hit that?"
You silly. You are so silly. Um, I mean, it is a California strand. He
Oh,
he did it right by coming over here to Cali.
okay. The West Coast is the best coast when it comes to that, but that's not anything I know something about.
Okay, you keep reiterating that.
Yeah, I ain't gonna incriminate
Fine.
myself. Oh,
That's
is
fine.
this microphone on? I don't partake. Oh man, you know what? That
Well,
remind.
I'm glad. Speaking of technical difficulties, because we recorded the show originally, what was that, yesterday?
Yeah, yesterday.
And we had to run it back today. I had time to watch the finale of Snowfall.
Ooh, so we ain't gonna lie about it this time, cause I sure gave you a brief
No,
rundown. I was like, okay, what happened? I'm telling the story out of order and everything.
it's gonna be my real and true, honest, feelings about the finale today.
Okay, so that what's up. So
That's funny.
moving out of the purple Urkel, we gonna move into like let's get into some reviews. You know what I'm saying? One of the things definitely that we want to talk about is Snowfall. In case y'all haven't seen it, the season finale of Snowfall was on what, last Thursday, I want to say. Yeah,
Hmm.
and it was a zinger. So you haven't been, like, you watched it and you're refreshed on it. You want to share your thoughts?
There again, I think there were cliffhangers. Um, I'm definitely looking forward to season 5, which we have to wait a whole year to get, but I'll wait patiently. Um, I thought they did a great job. I really did a great job of keeping us on the edge of our seats and wanting more. And Franklin Saint, he makes the show. Like, shout out to the supporting characters, but Franklin Saint is that guy. He is the one.
Yeah,
I just love watching him, and every time I turn it on, it's phenomenal every time.
yeah, I definitely agree. Like I said yesterday in the show we left on the editing room floor. I definitely like the season finale. I think that the way they kind of, like you say, it's a lot of cliffhangers, but it shows a lot of promise going forward as well. I think that Franklin, like, we
Hmm.
about to see a real turn with Franklin, and it may even be something where he's going against the people. And I didn't bring this up, like, in my theory when we discussed it yesterday,
Hmm.
but I believe that he actually starts to take down the people closest to him, just based on how, just
So
based on
you
how,
you think he gonna take him down and get a whole new crew,
I think
or he gonna be a one man army?
I think he might become like a one man army, because like they're setting him up to where he is um like okay, so let me explain. Like, when you look at Snowfall, like it always showed Franklin as this character that was just always smarter than he's damn near smarter than everybody around
Mm-hmm.
him. So it's certain, but he's always been a defensive type of character. So he's smarter than everybody, but he's reacting to these existential threats. But now it's like the board is clear. There are no
Mm-hmm.
like we can't foresee any attacks to Franklin. But then in that same breath, it's like we're looking at him switch his role from being someone that's calculated and intelligent to now being the menace or the evil genius, so to speak. So like when he catches up with Andre's daughter, like in the classroom in Texas, and you know, like the way he's talking to her and how he actually leaves that scene, it's almost
Mm-hmm.
like this is the new villain for season. Like Franklin is gonna be the new villain for season 5, and I think that like it's really gonna unravel like that. Or that's just my theory. Yeah, I could be totally wrong, people. I could not know what the fuck
I
I'm talking
mean,
about.
you saw the way he told Leon, like, that's nice, but you're gonna keep holding down these projects, just like I held you down when everybody told me to give you up. It was like a hard no. He was like, okay, that's nice, but you gonna be at work tomorrow first thing? Okay, cool. Like,
Hmm.
you ain't going nowhere. Sorry to tell you.
Yeah, Leon was like, man, I done shot a kid on my head riding all this. Because if you really think about it, like the Leon character, like if you look at his character, he had always been, you know, he always been Franklin like number 2. But even Leon was never really like this
Mm-hmm.
super super vigilant like gangster type. He wasn't really like hardcore. He was like a kid just grew up in the environment. If you really look at it, like Franklin was, he was more of a risk taker than Leon ever was. You know what I'm saying? Like he would get himself in
Mm-hmm.
situations and he would gamble and he would win by just using his intelligence against a lot of people. But um kind of looking at it now, like you say, the way he talked to Leon, the way he talked to his old girlfriend, the way he was talking to his uncle, and you know, like those situations is showing him in this light where it's like, okay, now people are trying to take something away from him that he values. Like you can clearly see that he
Mm-hmm.
values family, and like the family is trying to take themselves away from Franklin, and that's not gonna
Right.
work.
They don't like the way that he's been leading.
Yeah, but I mean, like you have to give him credit where it's due. Like he has been the smartest one in all of these situations, no matter how
He
fuck.
has. It's a dangerous game.
Yeah,
And he's got them out of every single thing that could have destroyed them, and every single hurdle that they've come across, he's overcome it. It wasn't easy. It was very risky. Some people got shot and killed,
yeah.
but they still survived. They still there. They still standing.
A lot of people got shot, and you know what? We didn't talk
Hmm.
about this yesterday, but we need to discuss this. Hey man, that nigga in season 1 that raped that dude, that nigga was wilding, bro. And you so you remember in season 1 where they like Leon went and got one of the other dudes from the block, and then they came back to the place
Yes.
because you remember Franklin got robbed. Yeah, man, I don't
Yes.
know what
Okay.
was going
Okay.
on with that dude. Like that should not happen in the real world. This nigga is a
We taking it
gay.
back to season one.
This nigga is a gay predator. Cause ain't nobody never talked about that, but we got to discuss that. That nigga was really your booty all your life, and then he shot the door. And then he came out of the room and you see the dude just laying on the bed like, oh god, he done tossed him up. He
Oh
done
my
broke.
gosh.
He not only did he break your booty, he broke your spirit too. Oh lord, it's a sad, sad world. Oh.
That's part of the build up, turn of events for us to be where we are now, preparing for season five.
Yeah, man, and you know what? I mean, it's a great show, man. And I like the fact that they
I'm
focus
torn.
more so on the story of Franklin. You know, he was a part. Like they had all these other small micro stories, kind of pushing toward one bigger story. But I'm glad that they focused more so on that than the other stuff because, like, I don't know if it's because like the black story is more relatable because I'm black, but regardless of all of that, it's like that shit, like the shit Franklin going through, like on Snowfall, that is the greatest shit on earth, man. I honestly believe in like,
It is literally the best thing out right now.
yeah, yeah, and I can't wait for season 5. Fight, yeah, yeah, yeah. How long we got? How long we got before we get back in it, man? What we got, like a year or something?
Yeah, probably they're gonna come back with us next spring, probably.
Yeah,
I'm hoping sooner, but they showed us a lot of great stuff. They tapped into his childhood. I think one of my favorite scenes, and I think yesterday I was leaning more towards the one at the end scene when he was talking to Melody and he left the cane and walked out.
yeah,
But that was before I saw it. Now that I have seen the episode, I think my favorite scene was when he was saying goodbye to his mom before they got on the plane.
yeah,
That right there, I was like, oh,
yeah,
I'm not gonna cry.
yeah.
It was so powerful because I know that feeling. I could feel that feeling that he felt in that moment.
Oh, it was heartwarming for you.
His dad was saying like, "I'm sorry, I love you." He was like, "Yeah, I get on the plane."
Yeah,
But his
never,
mom, he was like, that hurt him.
never mind the Mexican standoff that happened. But okay,
Yeah, I mean, that was a good one too. But I don't know. It was they were standing off too long for me. If somebody was gonna get shot, it would have happened already.
yeah, yeah, man. I'm glad ain't nobody get shot in, at least in that scene. But the way they setting it up, somebody gonna get shot. Somebody gonna get shot in with Cuba, wherever they at. They over there with Asada
Cuba,
Shakur. Yeah, they over there with Asada Shakur. So, mm,
some out on for the floor. We don't know. It's a lot of cliffhangers.
yeah, they did leave a lot of things up in the air, man. But yeah, great show. R.I.P. John Singleton. You know what I'm saying? Great writer.
Yes, R.I.P. John Singleton.
Yeah, great
He's
producer.
definitely someone that I would have loved to work with.
Oh, y'all gonna do the reboot? What John Singleton did? Boys in the Hood, or was it
He
Jason?
did everything.
What?
What did he not do?
Um, I'm trying to make sure that I get it because him and Tupac had worked together. So it was on
Poetic
yeah,
Justice.
it was on Poetic Justice. It was the Hughes brothers that did Juice. Yeah, cause Tupac had done whooped up on them niggas. I remember that story. But him and John
Yes.
Singleton did Poetic Justice. Oh, what you gonna do to reboot?
I was gonna make some new magic with him. I would have loved to do anything with John Singleton. He does such a great job of depicting our black characters and our history and putting it in film, and I would have loved to do anything with him,
Yeah, that
honestly.
yeah, that would have been dope. I'm gonna stay away from the reboot though, cause it would have been you in a
We don't do reboots.
yeah, you in an Amazon delivery van. trying to get to the Rolling Loud Festival in California. We do not condone the use of any drugs.
With my box braids.
Yeah. Not you that
My
and she
boy
had a cat. You got
braids.
with 2 puppies. Oh god.
That's
Yeah,
funny.
man.
No, we don't do reboots. We would have definitely made a new, historic movie.
An
It would have
original.
been great. But rest in peace to John Singleton, man.
Yeah, man. Rest in peace of John Singleton. And you know what? We do gotta take time out since we talking about Snowfall. Let's give a shout out to Freeway Rick, cause that
Hmm.
is that nigga's life, and that nigga life is that this is the danger we all look for as young adolescents and growing up in
The
the world.
thrill.
Yeah, this is thrilling. Now it's like
Keep me on the edge of my seat.
it makes sense. Now, this the reason why all the girls go for the drug dealers. Oh, this is what y'all. Oh, this seems like fun.
Oh, not all the girls.
Not you. Well.
Thank you for that.
You want to talk about your Well, yeah. Before we get into something I would like to discuss, let's discuss because you were talking we were talking about it yesterday about your knight in shining armor. You want to tell that story again? Well, he really went
Oh
on
my
knight in
God, you talking
shining
about me
armor.
on the side of the road?
Yeah, yeah. You want to tell that story since you told it once before and
Oh my
I
God,
wouldn't record it. Forgive me.
you gonna keep you gonna keep putting me on the spot. Um, I forget how we got into it again, but we did have a conversation about me being stranded on the side of the road. I hit a pothole out here in these San Diego streets, and I got low profile tires, so that was it. I was on the side of the road real quick. And I'm waiting for the tow truck to come. Roadside assistance is not the best. It had to be what, 2 in the morning, I think.
Mm.
And don't ask me where I was going or coming from, but I think I was coming from a birthday party. I don't remember. But I'm sitting there, and this guy pulls up in a pickup truck with no tinted windows. Roll window down. Is everything all right? And me being, a young, very beautiful black female by myself on the side of the
Mm-mm.
road at 2 o'clock in the morning, I got defensive and I'm like, oh, I'm fine. The tow truck will be here soon. And he's like, okay, well, what's wrong with the car? And when he asked that, I've seen too many scary movies. I'm like, he's trying to, I'm going to be stranded here so he could come back. Like, I just said, oh, no, thank you. The tow truck will be here in about 10 minutes. And then he kind of looked like defeated and he drove off. And as soon as he got down the road, I was like, damn, I could have been a little nicer. What if he could have been the love of my life? If I would have just been a little more chatty,
Look,
like who knows?
and
He could have just been being helpful.
I'm gonna say it once, like I'm gonna say it again, like I said it once before. How do you go from a fucking horror movie or a porno, depending on how we going with this thing? Because they do kind of start off the same way. I have seen porno start off like this,
Oh my gosh.
but
On the side of the road.
yeah, on the side of the road. How do you go from that to a love story? This is
Because
insane.
we were talking about, I said, oh, I'm not looking for anybody or whatever. And you said, well, you got to put yourself out there. And I'm just like, he could have probably been a nice guy. Like, you never know where you find somebody at or who you might fall in love with. And I was over here thinking he was a predator, and I sent him on his way.
Them predators
I'll never
do.
know now.
Them predators do be predatoring. But you
Especially at
know
that
what?
time of night.
Yes, you're right. At that time of the night, under those type of circumstances, I totally agree with you. I know I was saying some bullshit
And
yesterday.
and I left out that he already had went around the block once before that.
Yeah, so
He already had circled the block and came back.
now it's really starting to look like a horror movie. I was leaning more toward porn in the beginning. It was like a 60-40 split, but now I gotta go 80-20 now. I just don't see the money shot in this situation. I don't see it. I do see a
You're such a
motherfucker from
guy.
I do see a motherfucker from the wrong turn coming up there and bopping your head with a flashlight. Oh God. Look.
With the batteries in it.
Yeah, like what the thing that scares you, I think it scares us all. Like one thing you don't want to do is be stranded on the side of the road at night, especially like so you gotta think about it, like I live in
Hmm.
Georgia. So the difference is like we have a lot of rural areas. So a lot of times when you be in these backwoods, it's almost like what's really scary is like like you think about something like Wrong Turn or Jeepers Creepers, cause
Jeepers Creepers.
yeah, so you out here in these areas like where these type of shit go on, so that's already scaring you.
You ain't
But
got no phone service.
no phone service because I can't talk bad about them folk. They been there cut my ass off for real. Well, you know what? I'm gonna show them some love because during the pandemic they was
They
giving
know
away
who you
free
with.
months. Yeah. So during the pandemic, they did give out a couple of months of free service. All I had to do
Oh
was say, man,
man, they had to because y'all wasn't getting no service.
yeah, that's right. They was already doing us a disservice. So I guess,
The
but
least they can do.
yeah, like now the real scary part is not that. It ain't none of that. The real scary part ain't like something you seen in a horror movie. The real scary part is when you see that poster that say Trump and Pence. Like, nigga, where am
Mm.
I? So it's like that's really scary. Cause see that cause you think about it like the fantasy stuff is make believe and while it's always in the back of your mind. I mean, this shit that they show you on them billboards when you ride down like through these small little countries, that's really scary. That's the real scary
Yeah, that's
part.
real right there.
If if you want to see something real scary, all you gotta do is drive through one of these rural areas and You start looking at your gas tank, or you hearing your tires bumping. And
You just magically got a quarter of a tank.
yeah, like where did this go? I just filled up. Oh god. And you
You
look,
magically ain't got no gas and no service.
yeah, and you look at your phone ain't where you like, oh man, this is Murphy's Law all over
Let me
again.
hurry up.
Yeah, and then you see that sign that say Trump and Pence. Oh shit. Oh god, I'm not stopping. You know what? If I
Hmm.
see flashing lights, y'all just keep on riding. We finna go somewhere where somebody at. I'm not stopping in the
Well,
open for
luckily we both
nobody.
made it out there safe and sound.
Well, I always make it safe and sound, but that just would be in the back of my mind. Me, unlike you, I would
It's
have
because you're a
still
man.
look. Me, either I don't even think I ain't got to get out the train to tie. I got run flat. I can get by 60, 70 miles.
Got red flat.
Yeah. So if mine, unless the tire explode and fall completely off the rim, I'm still good. You weren't good.
You hit one of these potholes out here,
Oh god. Now,
definitely put a hole in your tire
don't jinx me.
real quick.
I don't want to be
When
jinxed.
I say the tire, when I say it immediately, the car immediately was done. Like as soon as I hit the pothole, the tire pressure light came on. I'm like, oh Lord, let me get under this street lamp
Oh god.
across from the closed discount tires.
Mm-mm-mm.
And it was a Saturday night. They was closed on Sunday, so it's not like I could have just left the car there and came back the next day. Like no, nope.
Yeah, you had that.
And I was parked in a spot where I couldn't leave it. It was just bad. You learn something new with every experience. I tell you that much.
Yeah, that's a very unfortunate situation. And I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna tell you something that's even more unfortunate. This fucking next review we finna get into. So, in case y'all were living under a rock, what this past Friday, the Mortal Kombat
Friday.
movie came out. I don't know
Yes.
if you had time to catch that, did you? Or yeah.
I did not, but I've heard very mixed reviews.
Well, you about to hear one that's nah, my review
You heard
ain't
it here
mixed.
first.
Yeah, this the truth. Man, this movie is god awful. I mean, everything is bad about this movie. From the acting to just fucking everything. Like, first of all, they messing up my nostalgia because everybody know, like, in the original Mortal Kombat, like with Liu Kang and Johnny Cage, where Liu Kang brother get killed, he waking up in cold sweats and all this other stuff. So we know that that is
Hmm.
the 10th and final tournament. If Outworld wins, they take over Earth. So this is the 10th tournament, and these niggas is 9-0. These niggas is undefeated out here. They looking like the Patriots when they had Randy Moss. It's unbelievable. So from the movie that we seen, like what this is like a prequel reboot. So, like it starts off kind of cool. You know what I'm saying? So you see like Sub Zero when he was like a part of the Lin Kuei, and you see Scorpion with his clan and everything. You see like Sub Zero attack Scorpion clan and kill his people and kill his family, and then also kills him. So we kind of
Hmm.
we see that, and it's like, okay, it starts out good, but then after that everything goes to shit. It's like, first of all, we got to realize this. Old boy that played Raiden in the original, I think what his name is, Christopher. I don't want to mess up his last name, but the original
No, no, no.
actor, I think it's Christopher Nolan. He played in the Highlander too. You know what I'm saying? That's one of my favorite movies too.
Hmm.
But
Is it?
yeah, but moving forward, it's like, first of all, this rating they got, man, he really ain't like, it ain't there for me. And moving on, it's like the movie just progressively gets worse. Like, okay, first of all, now you got Kano and all these other folks, and then they trying to do some foolishness where they got to discover their hidden power. That's terrible. Um, and it's like y'all rewriting it in a way where it isn't good. And so what ends up
Well,
happening? Go ahead.
they're rewriting it for the new school. They think it's been so many years that they can get away with rewriting it for the younger generation who's going to see a new story that they can hopefully rewrite. Now, us, the OGs, we're not here for it.
Yeah, yeah.
We know what Mortal Kombat is about. We know the story. We're no, don't be switching it up on us. That's not how we remembered it.
Yeah, and it's like it's so many bad things, or like it's like you're like somebody reinterpreted the story and it's not good. So like they got this like a reptile thing, but it's not like real reptile. I don't know what it is, but it's, I guess it's supposed to be a nod or homage to reptile, but it ain't. um
Mm.
they got like Scorpion, one of his, like the last person in his bloodline, and I'm like, ain't nobody never played with this nigga on no video game. Who is this nigga? And then like when he figure out his power, it's like this nigga just get a gold fucking shirt. Like what is this? Like this is insane. Like this nigga power, everybody else. Like Liu Kang can shoot fire. Kung Lao got the hat. You know what I'm saying? Kano, he got the laser. He can shoot a laser out his eye. You know, Raiden got lightning.
Oh my gosh.
But this nigga right here, when he finally reach his power, he got a goddamn Gucci shirt on. I'm like, what is this? This nigga superpower, a Versace shirt? This is crazy. So I'm looking at it and I'm
That's
like,
Versace you stepping on.
yeah, I'm like, man, this is a terrible power up. Like, who came up? Like,
You are
who
silly.
came up with this? And
Got a Gucci shirt on.
then they keep doing Goro wrong. I
Did they
mean,
bring girl out?
yeah. So on the original, you know, goddamn Johnny Cage, karate kicked his ass off that cliff and killed
Yes.
him. But on this remake, so he got to fight this nigga Cole or whatever his name is, and that nigga with the Gucci shirt on. So they fighting each other, and then at the end of the day, he like Taz on, like he do some kind of finishing with some old bogus finishing move, and it's like, man, this
Goro.
is
I
whack.
definitely gotta watch it now. I love Goro.
Yeah, but
Don't be messing with Goro
they
now.
keep doing him. They keep doing him dirty, man. Every time you turn
So if there
around,
was no 10th tournament, then what girl just came out for his appearance and left?
yeah, and see that's the other part about this movie that I don't like. There isn't an actual tournament, so Shane Song is like launching this like sneak attack. So he like, we done won this tournament 9 times. Like you done beat these niggas 9 times, and you look at them, and you be like, okay, they shouldn't. They like he looking at these niggas like these ain't no real fighters, and you still gonna launch like a sneak attack on them. It's like, okay, I'm like, man, this is super bogus. So what end up happening is like they go to like this temple or whatever, and then they just like Kano turn on Earth Realm warriors and break the shield. So um Shane Song able to get in with his crew, and then they just engage in a fight or whatever. So Kung Lao end up dying. I'm gonna just tell it all, cause you know what, y'all niggas ain't gotta
Spoiler
worry
alert.
about this. So you know, Shane
Go ahead and
Song,
skip it.
Shane Song take Kung Lao take his soul. What else happened? Then they kind of get to like another, like they go to another realm, all the Earth Realm warriors, and then they end up like Raiden end up teleporting like the fighters, like the Earth Realm fighters with the Outworld fighters to these different places. So you know, Jack's fighting some nigga that I ain't never seen either. These like they just making up characters on their own. Like niggas, don't nobody know where these niggas come from. But it's almost like, bro, why y'all introducing new characters thinking this is gonna be good? And like I say, I've been playing Mortal Kombat. Like, you know, the iconic characters, build a story around the iconic characters, and everything will be fine. But you keep bringing these new niggas in that don't nobody know. And then you gotta think about it too, like with the new Mortal Kombat and stuff, like we ain't gonna talk about how terrible them games is, because they keep doing the same shit. You keep bringing in, like, I get it, every video game need new characters, but some of these niggas, don't nobody give a fuck about these niggas. Don't nobody care. Ain't no nothing. I have no loyalty to these new niggas. But
There's no history here.
yeah, so it's like they like Raiden teleporting them, and they out here fighting and all this other stuff, and it's like, so Earth Realm end up beating all the Shane Song warriors, but it isn't a real tournament. So it's like they kind of gearing up now, like they still trying to find warriors for it to go into the actual 10th and final tournament. So it was like a prequel, it was like a reboot prequel, but it wasn't good. It really wasn't. You know what I'm saying? So it was like,
That's so unfortunate.
yeah, but and I say that, and it is unfortunate because you know what, they hyped this shit up. They put the little teasers out, and you know what, I'm gonna tell
But
you
they had
something.
every opportunity to, make it great.
I'm gonna tell you
And we
something.
were rooting for them.
And I don't want to be long winded because niggas be saying that. But look, I gotta get this out, y'all.
Stop.
I got to talk about this. Look, man, that shit, like the way that they hyped it up, and you know how I knew, you know how we all know it's gonna be bad, how the reboot gonna be bad when they give you that super cut of them 2 minute clips and everything is fire. So they just took all the best scenes and put it in 2 minutes. So you know what, bro? If you seen the trailer, you seen the best part of the movie. How about that? Mic drop.
Wow.
I'm done.
Wow. And that's the review for the new Mortal Kombat movie
Yeah.
2021. Heard
And
it here first. Go ahead and check it out. Watch it for yourself. I'm gonna do so. I'm gonna watch it and see how I feel about it because I'm an actress. That's what we do. We see the movie for ourselves and we dissect it. But go ahead and check it out for yourself and let us know what y'all think. Matter of fact, don't let us know what y'all think because we already know what y'all think.
you right. They think what I think. And anybody that don't think like how I think, well, fuck you. You the problem. How about that?
You why they keep making this bullshit.
Exactly. If it wasn't for niggas like you.
Stop it. No, seriously though. Check it out. I mean, support the $5 million budget that they put into it to make it,
Lord.
and give it your own star ratings on Red Tomatoes.
Yeah,
But
better yet, man, if y'all listening to this, and y'all done seen the movie, comment down below. Let us know what you think. I think that you think
mhm.
like how I think if you're a reasonable thinking person. Now, if you unreasonable,
You're a logical
yeah,
human being.
if you unreasonable or you on that motherfucking narcotic, then you might see something.
If you're smoking that purple Urkel,
Yeah,
it might be entertaining to you.
yeah, that part.
You silly.
But yeah, that's just terrible. Like no more reboots. Please don't. It's
Yeah, we're not here for the reboots.
I'm definitely not. I'm not.
If you're gonna reboot it, no, that's I was about to go in on another movie, but that's for another day. If you're gonna reboot something, build on the original story. Don't drift us away into Never Never Land, into a whole nother world that doesn't make any sense with the original plot. Don't do that to us, please.
I
We would appreciate it.
I think that, like, to be honest, the reason why I don't like reboots is because people oftentimes develop like it becomes something that's ingrained in the culture. So it's like a movie
Hmm.
like they should never like redo like something iconic like Friday or something like that. Like I can see them kind of expanding on as far as the trilogy, well, as far as like the legacy of it is concerned. And if they want to do a
Hmm.
spin-off or create something different, okay, cool. Because even then, it's tied to the nostalgia that is this original piece of art, but it's far away removed where it doesn't have to live in the shadow of that. Like I said
Hmm.
with this Mortal Kombat movie, it was like maybe they were trying to do that, but this wasn't it. It's like you've tapped into too much of the nostalgia to get away with kind of calling this thing its own thing. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you're using the iconic characters. The setup is basically the same as the previous movie, and it's like this is
With the
shitty.
storyline.
Yeah, now if they would have done
Yeah.
something, just within the vein of what that was, but it was completely different. If you used all different characters, or if you kind of like like the X-Men series is a good it is good at that. It's good for that. So when you kind of look at like X-Men Days of Future Past, like these are Marvel characters, but they have their own uniqueness. It's almost like these are spin-offs of like the actual X-Men movie, but it's taking place in a
Hmm.
different time. So even when they're using those characters, they're in different phases of their life and they don't conflict with what we know and love as this original piece of art, like the OG piece of art. Like they kind of they play a far away enough from that to where you actually enjoy these prequels or these like spin-offs versus what I just wasted a couple hours of my life on.
But you can't get back.
Yeah, I can't get that back. Can't get that back. No, that's gone. Just gotta chalk it up. It's bad, man. It's bad, bad, bad. But moving away from the tragedy of the reboot, we got a
Yes.
serious topic. You want to go ahead and set that up?
Yeah. Let's dive into the tragedy of the George Floyd and Derrick Chauvin case.
Mm-hmm.
It's been almost a year since the incident happened, on May 25th of 2020, right when we were in the height of the pandemic. Um, George Floyd
Mm-hmm.
a counterfeit $20 bill at a store in Minneapolis. Following that, the store clerk called the police, and four officers arrived on the scene, one being Derrick Chauvin. Um, and he was arrested and handcuffed and laid face down on the ground. And once he was already handcuffed and complying, Officer Derrick Chauvin continued to kneel on George Floyd's neck for a total of 9 minutes and 29 seconds, um, resulting in his death. And now he is been put on trial and was found guilty on 3 counts.
Mm.
And we're waiting sentencing. The whole world is waiting for this result, and hopefully it plays out and justice is served.
Yeah. So, cause I was a little bit long-winded before, I'm still trying to catch my bearings,
Shut
and this
up.
is a serious topic too. Like, what are your thoughts on it?
I'm just tired. I think we're way past tired, and it was excessive force. And I think this, him being sentenced and the George Floyd, act being passed will hopefully show these officers and anyone who's supposed to be abiding by the law that there's consequences for your actions. And using unnecessary excessive force, it's not right. This is an illegal, position that he was using to kneel on his neck, and a man is dead. It's not okay. I'm so over it.
Hmm.
You're supposed to protect and serve, not abuse your power.
Um, and that was like what you said would really encapsulated what happened. You know, and I just kind of want to take a moment out to give condolences to the family because I know like
Hmm.
this is something that's been going on for a while, and to kind of get to the point where it's almost like you can almost put it behind you, or even though it's a thing that you should never put behind you, for them it's getting closer to the finality of it all because you lose a loved one and now you're going through the court system to get justice, and I think that does
Right.
give people a certain level of resolve. As far as the public, just the culture in general, I think we have to not celebrate early. I definitely think that we
Right.
have to stay vigilant until after the sentencing and what happens after that, because we're at the point now where the Jedi mind trick could actually happen like right now. So you have to stay vigilant, you have to stay steadfast, and you have to really stay on this thing and push this thing. You know what I'm saying? Push it all the way through to the end and make sure that the justice that or just the sentencing is adequate, because you don't want a situation where you make it all this way and you get charged on these 3 counts, and then when it comes to sentencing, this guy gets 5 years or 10 years. It's like no. Um, the sentencing for this needs to be stern. It needs to be not excessive or harsh, but it needs to be stern and it needs to be fitting for the crime. I mean, like if you kill a man on camera, like and you looking into the camera sees you and you see the camera and we see everybody around and we seeing how it plays out in America, like in real time on tape. Like there really needs to be an example set here, and there needs to be a precedent set so that going forward you don't continue to have these type of things happen. um and like I
Yeah.
say, to the culture, you have to stay steadfast. You have to not celebrate. Don't celebrate. We like this isn't a victory. This is just putting people on notice that yeah, we see you and we're going to make this system uphold justice. And not only that, but we're going to make sure that this system punishes anyone that's committing these type of crimes accordingly. And there's always going to be pushback. You gonna have law enforcement. I don't want to be a cop no more because I can't do, like, it's not up to you. It's not up to any worker to do the job how they see fit, even though ultimately in
Right.
those situations you are a judge, jury, and executioner when you're on the streets, because you're seen as the authority. But more important than that, you know, people that are servants to the community, you know what I'm saying? Like, they take that on. So I get what I understand where they're coming from when they say, well, I want to go home, I want to see my family. I think everybody does. And but they take an oath to serve and protect. They take an oath to put their lives on the line. That's what serving and protecting ultimately means, that you will give your life to make sure that lives aren't harmed or impacted negatively. And that's just all, that's a lot of public service, even outside of just police officers. So when you think about firemen, like, they're running in the they running into situations and trying to save people, and their lives are on the line. If you look at healthcare workers, especially now with the current with the current state of the world, it's like, you being a nurse, someone comes in with a fever, they cough, and you could catch something that could impact your family negatively, or just even yourself. So these people that
It's a risk.
these people that sign up to be servants and serve the community, they all take on that risk. So nobody isn't out here taking on that risk. Hell, you can be a crossing guard if a motherfucker high on that motherfucking narcotic, uh, and he ain't obeying no signs, and he pinwheel your ass. That could be the end of you, and you just a goddamn crossing guard. Like, so, yeah, nigga. like
So
that's
many risks to everything that you do. It's the job you signed up for.
yeah. So I think that, that's that. And I'm glad to see that this officer did get convicted on 3 counts. But like I say, more important than that, the public, the American people, we have to stay vigilant, and we have to make sure that
Hmm.
the final part of this, which is the most important part, which is the sentencing, is actually fitting of the crime. So he don't need to get nothing. He don't need to get nothing light, because, like, Amber Geiger only got what, like 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that's
I
not.
know people, who didn't murder anybody got more time than that.
Yeah, and you be like, we live in a world where we see people, especially black people. It's almost like, man, we see people get football numbers for just being. You can not commit a crime and just be in a car with somebody and
Right.
get football numbers for that. Just by being associated with people, you can be locked up and thrown under the jail just for that. And you will be somebody that never committed a crime, never done nothing wrong. So it's like, we have to make sure, and we have to stay on this and make sure that the actual, like I say, that the punishment is fitting of the crime. And it has to be something that sends a message to America. Like, this is something we're
Right.
not going to tolerate. This isn't cool, and if you violate, we're going to demonstrate. And it needs to be something. And one thing about it, when you really want to see change in the world, you have to draw a line in the sand, and somebody gonna cross it. But when they cross it, and
Yeah.
you tear that ass up, everybody else on that other side of that line, they ain't gonna jump stupid when they know it's consequences. And that's the only thing that keeps people in order. You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing that keeps order. You sometimes you
And
have
I completely agree.
yeah.
I
So
completely agree with that.
yeah, um, yeah,
We need the proper consequences, and that will make people think twice before they act.
yeah, because we got a lot of people out here that are are acting because they understand that the way this system is, it doesn't, it's not fair and just. To be honest, it really is an unfair, it really is an unfair system for a lot of different reasons, and we need more fairness. We need more balance, and I think that's something that the people give to the system. So when you see when you see people don't get punished properly, then you have civil unrest, and then them streets gonna get hot, man. And people need to learn. That's what I will say. People need to learn. So once people learn that it's consequences for their actions and it's real out here in these streets, things will go the way it needs to go. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Yeah. Um.
Yep. So hopefully, with sentencing and the George Floyd, Policing Act, some changes are due to come. He was found guilty of 3 counts, one of second-degree murder, third-degree murder, and second-degree manslaughter. So I
Okay.
don't know what else. That doesn't look like football numbers, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Yeah. We definitely will. Um. Is there? I think we got all the topics out of the way for today. Is there anything else like anything else that you want to speak on or on your mind?
Um, I think the other shooting of Makia Bryant was very tragic as well. She's a 16-year-old from Ohio who was in a fight with one of her foster siblings over house chores, and she called the police for to her aid. And when they arrived on scene and saw that she had a knife, she ended up getting shot in the chest 4 times, and she passed away.
Yeah, that's
Um,
and that's unfortunate too. But that kind of lends that kind of goes back to the point that I was making earlier that when you have proper punishing for these type of crimes and stuff, people will handle these situations a lot differently because we've seen video footage of like we understand there's a racial element there, but we've seen
mhm.
video footage where white people be having swords and all kind of shit and machetes, and they out here
Guns.
fighting with the police, and it looks better than the Mortal Kombat reboot. This looks like the original. So that
Seriously though.
yeah, these motherfuckers be boxing with these niggas and everything on camera, and a gun is never pulled, or they don't accost these people in the same way. They aren't putting them in illegal maneuver, choking maneuvers, or kneeling on them, or none of that. So it's like in in order to make this thing the way it needs to be, you have to make sure that these systems that are put in place work properly. And I think that that comes down to the people. So um the people, the culture, man, we have been doing a good job of putting these people out here, making it a real
Hmm.
social issue, something that these people that like lawyers, judges, politicians, these are things that they can't run from now because we on your bumper, and it's almost like if this goes down or happens in your city, the people are holding you accountable as they should have always held you accountable. And at no point in time, under no circumstances, are you gonna weasel out of this or get away from this, because if you don't do the right thing in the face of these things, then it's the duty of the people to make your life to make your life more difficult. Like that's the role of the people. And I think that these people see this now. They see the civil unrest, and they know that okay, we can't allow this to happen, because if we don't stand up and do the right thing in the face of these atrocities, then these folk gonna come out the ass, and they don't want it. They don't want that pressure on them. So I think what we're doing and the way we're going about doing it, I understand that like the public prior to like the George Floyd ruling, like it's like we was close and you were watching this thing like slip between your hands, and they thought that the world was sleeping. I think now, more so now than ever, you see that the public is awoke. Like you see that the public is woke, and we are aware, and we are moving for justice. So we just got to stay vigilant, and we got to push through, and just not just like on the George Floyd case, but all cases, just move forward, push through, and
Yeah.
make sure you get to the end, and you get and you get something fitting of the crime, so that people know, now you're gonna handle this a different kind of way. And
And this sad kind of stuff has been happening. It's just now being, put on the forefront because we are in 2021 where people have smartphones and they can record it, and in 2 seconds it could be on social media, for the whole world to see. And shout out to our millennials. They're getting it. They're capturing it on camera, and as a result, justice is being served. So
Yeah.
shout out to Darnella Frazier. I think she was 17 when the incident happened, and she ended up recording it for
Mhm.
George Floyd. So I know she's been going through it.
Yeah, man. Shout out to her and her family, man, and just stay steadfast and keep your head up, man. And you did the right thing in the face of adversity, and your folks, we got you out here in these streets, man. Don't even trip.
Hmm.
So
Whew.
yeah. So we got through another one. Where technically we got through this one. Let's hope when I push the stop button an audio file appears, but I haven't done anything to make it to make my setup glitch out like last time. So boy, oh
I
boy,
think we good on this one.
I hope so. Well, I'm praying. Anything else on your mind before we get up out of here?
I think that's it. We unpacked a lot this episode. Again, this is episode 2, another successful show.
Most definitely. So on that note, man, I'm Watt. Follow me on Instagram at Watt1Band, and you want to give your socials?
I am Shelise. You can follow me on Instagram at Shelise with the melanin. I'm sorry, Shelise underscore with the melanin on all platforms. And you are watching or listening to the Unpacking Black podcast.
Okay. And also before we go, man, I gotta give my slogan before we go. We out the box with it, you dig? And we out.